teacher, I've noticed that change is inevitable. I haven't had a year go by that I haven't changed how I run my classroom, how I teach my lessons, and how I approach my curriculum. One of the great things about being a teacher is that I get a new job every year. I have new students to reach and oftentimes new curriculum to teach. But if I'm being completely honest, it's one of the things I like so much about my job. It has become evident to me that educators, and when I say educators, I mean everyone involved in education, teachers, principals, and superintendents, tend to fall into two categories: people who resist change and people who embrace it. My message to the educational community is this: we need to embrace change. Kids change. The world changes. We also have to change. We know there's something wrong with this educational system. There's plenty of data to support that our kids aren't ready for college when they graduate high school. So why are we continuing to teach them in a system that isn't working? I think the answer is that change is scary. It's terrifying to take a risk on something that's unproven, especially when it might be tied to your evaluation. One example of something that needs to change is how students move through school. Why are we allowing students to graduate from one grade to the next when they haven't mastered their coursework? Why? Because that's the way it's always been done. It doesn't make any sense. The educational system needs to shift their thinking and allow students to graduate when they have the material mastered. That is a scary thought. Educators at all levels would need to change the way that they view education and teaching, and that's terrifying. Another view that is well supported by data is that we shouldn't have 3-month-long stretches in the summer where students won't retain what they learned the last year. Don't get me wrong, I love my summer vacation as much as anyone, but what's best for kids? Doesn't it make more sense to have smaller breaks spread throughout the year rather than one long break in the summer? There are schools that have embraced this idea and their data supports it. So why haven't more schools moved to a balanced calendar? Because it's always been this way. But is it best for kids? No. Then it needs to change. And we as parents, teachers, and school districts need to support that change rather than fight against it. Don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying we should roll over every time a change comes that isn't right for kids. Quite the opposite. What I'm saying is that before we make a rash decision about new changes, we need to stop and think about the why that went into that decision. If the change is going to negatively impact our kids, then we need to advocate for them. But if it's about doing what's best, if it's about doing what's right for kids, then we need to step up and embrace that change with open arms.